Yes, guys, what's up? So, I haven't done a video on Carl Froch since we did the interview, I don't think. Um, so, yeah, man, Carl Froch versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Las Vegas, Nevada, 2015. Pay-per-view. I think this is a fight I want to see. I would like this fight. I think people underestimate Julio Cesar Chavez and think he's going to get blown out of the water. I disagree. I think this is a brilliant fight, excellent fight. Eddie Hearn, if you make this fight, man, it'll be a hell of a fight. Now, first of all, I want to talk about the downsides of both fighters, and then I'm going to cover the pros of both fighters. And I'm going to give you kind of a hint who I edge towards. I'm not going to give a final prediction, but I'm going to give you a hint. Now, this fight for me, I think it makes sense, and I think both these fighters' careers, Julio Cesar Chavez is pay-per-view material. Froch is pay-per-view material in the UK. He's coming off a win against George Groves. Brilliant. Hypes around this fight. It will be big. But the negatives of Julio Cesar Chavez is he gasses out. And when I spoke to Carl Froch about this, Froch wanted to dismiss this because Carl wants to obviously build this as a big fight and make sure that the public perceive Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. as a well-worthy opponent. But the truth is, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., when he doesn't come in correct, like he didn't against Martinez, he gasses out. He can gas out. But the thing is, he's mentally strong. He physically is naturally strong. However, is in terms of his physical aspects, he sometimes can't keep up because he doesn't train properly. And that's the problem that's going to occur in this fight. And now, I think, I'm gonna tell you straight, and I'm going to be quite simple and blatant about this. If Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. comes in fit and ready, then I'm gonna say that I think Julio Cesar Chavez is gonna, let's just say, stand a hell of a chance. But if he doesn't come and train, and he doesn't train his ass off, and I can't see him in the build up, and he's not really training, and he's relaxing, and walking around in his pink underwear and stuff, and he's not really bothered about the fight, then you know what? Well, let's talk about Carl Froch, and then we'll talk about that. Carl Froch, right, his downside is this. Carl Froch can get outboxed. Carl Froch is open for punches. He gets hit a lot. And I think Carl Froch is not the best fighter in his division. That's Andre SOG Ward. And that's the bottom line. And I think when you take all that into account, he is second best in his division. There's the downsides to Carl Froch. Now let's talk about the pros. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., first of all, the main pro that this guy is his freaking genetics, his blood that runs through his veins. He is the son of the great Julio Cesar Chavez. And you know what? It ain't just all hype. He is. You can see that he is his son. You can see with that granite-ass chin he's got. He's got one solid chin. And not only that, right? Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he can crack, right? And he's a warrior. He keeps going. He doesn't get mentally tired. The only thing is, sometimes he has to pace himself in the Martinez fight. He really had to pace himself, and I feel he could have won that Martinez fight if he had trained properly. You know what I mean? But he didn't, and it is what it is, and he lost the fight. And I think that the main pro that he has got is his chin. I think his chin is solid. I think he's a heavy guy. He can crack as well. Now let's move on to Carl Froch. I think Carl Froch, his pros outweigh Julio Cesar Chavez's pros because Carl Froch, right, he can fight out range. He's got a good jab, right? He's a good rangy boxer. When he's on the outside, he can dominate. The problem that Carl Froch is gonna have, I think, in Julio Cesar Chavez is on the inside, because let me get this straight. Let me tell you this now. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. ain't no George Groves, right? He is not a George Groves. When Carl Froch faces him, the thing that he's going to have to realize quickly is that Julio Cesar Chavez has a solid chin. And Carl Froch is going to have to outbox him. And I understand Carl Froch has got a solid chin as well, but I think if any one of the two is going to get hurt, it's going to be Froch. I think that's another downside we can add to it, because if you have to look at both chins and say whose chin is not as sturdy, because you know what it is, both of these guys have the most exceptional chins in boxing, like unbelievable chins, right? They get hit and nothing happens to them, they can take it. I think Carl Froch, although he's got a solid chin, I think if any two of these are gonna get hurt, it's gonna be Froch, because I still think that Froch comes from the British style of boxing, and I think that the British style of boxing, although it comes with its pros, such as a good jab that British fighters tend to have, and I've always said this, that British fighters are good at range. I've always said that, and I think that it's difficult for American fighters to be as good in range. I think that American fighters, because they're so good overall, it takes away from certain dynamics when certain aspects of your game, I think, can go down sometimes in American boxing. People might think that's crap, but I just believe like certain fighters are more comfortable on the inside than they are on the outside. And I think boxing's always been like that. And I think Froch is not gonna be as comfortable on the inside as Julio Cesar Chavez will be on the inside. But I think if Froch keeps his fight at range and does jabs and just he keeps it at range, he can just take out Julio Cesar Chavez on the outside and just start boxing. And that's what Carl Froch said to me, that he's just going to try and outbox this kid. And I think if Carl Froch stays on the outside, tries to outbox him, tries to land that right hand, he can even hurt Julio Cesar Chavez from the outside. But you see, the thing is this: if Julio Cesar Chavez if Chavez gets on the inside, if Chavez starts to rough Froch up a little bit on the inside, we've seen Froch get hurt by Groves. And I think Chavez Jr. can crack like that as well. I think Chavez can really bang on the inside. I think because he fights crouches low and he comes up at top and he hits you with some hard punches on the inside, I think that could definitely hurt Froch. I think it definitely could. But I think overall, for me, I think Froch is going to carry the advantage because, and this is going to be the difference. You know, in boxing, it ain't about the talent. It ain't about the skill. It's about the gym. It's about how hard you train outside and how bad you want it. And I think that Carl Froch, this is going to be his final fight for him in his head. He's going to think, right, this is the last fight I'm going to take. Vegas is the last stop. And you know what? I'm happy for Carl Froch because, for me, Carl Froch proved himself against George Groves in the rematch. He showed what a warrior is. He took some hard punches. He took a lot of a mental beating in the first fight. Well, from the first fight to the second fight, there was a lot of mental beating on Carl Froch from the public, and Carl Froch took it. And you know what? It's kind of what like boxing dreams are made of. Do you know what I mean? Like Carl Froch under the lights, and he showed himself what he is against George Groves, and he knocked George Groves out. Showed a lot of resilience. Didn't mentally gas out, and he showed that he's a true champion. I mean, he could have done a David Price and just gassed out, and but he's a true champion, and he knocked George Groves out, and he lasted in there, and he deserves 100% credit for that fight. People want to decredit the George Groves, like, who the hell is George Groves? George Groves was a difficult fight for Carl Froch stylistically, and Carl Froch stood up to the occasion and whooped him. So for me, this is a nice, excellent going out party. I think it's a fight that Carl Froch can win. I think that the difference is going to be Carl Froch's dedication to the sport of boxing in terms of his fitness. I think that's what's going to win it for him, and I think that's what's going to just give him the edge. I think in terms of the outside boxing, Carl Froch is superior. I think on the inside, when Julio Cesar Chavez cuts off the ring, I think he's going to be superior. I don't think Carl Froch can fight on the inside as good as Julio Cesar Chavez. But let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments in the section below. Make sure you subscribe. I think it's going to be a good fight. For me, if I had to pick who I'd rather be in this fight, in terms of what I've got as skill, what I've got as experience and everything, you have to go with Froch. I think Froch he's fought the best, he's been in with the best, he's beat brilliant fighters, he's ducked no one. And I think, you know what, this is the thing in boxing, you have to give Carl Froch credit, win or lose in this fight, because he's taken on all comers. And so what if he lost to Andre Ward? So what if he lost to Ward? The guy has still fought everyone, and you got to credit Froch for taking on all comers and fighting everyone. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments in the section below. Subscribe as always. Carl Froch, the last of a dying breed. I think he takes on all comers, and a lot of fighters don't do that. In a bit.